Good evening. How's everybody doing this evening? Miss Gail here from Georgia Peachnut Garden, coming to you with one of my projects that I've been trying to do for a while. I realized I didn't have the kind of kale that I like. I did have the kale, but I messed around here, did what I'm doing now, and forgot it was in here, and it all dried out. So I'm back doing it again. No, it's not too late to do kale. It's not too late to do a lot of your brassicas. You may have to start them indoors if you can't find them at the big box store. So what I have going on here, so this is something that I use a lot of, is the Jiffy Greenhouse Kit. It comes with the peat pods, let's see, peat pellets. Trying to see what they have the size on it. This is the largest size right here, I think. I don't know if they come any larger than that. But it looks like this when you first get it. And then you pour hot water over it and it expands to this right here. Now what you can do, well first let me back up. There are 36 in this large container, 36. I've been using them as I need them because you don't have to put them all in here and use them all at the same time. So I've been using them as I need them. And you can take things like, you can just about grow almost all the way to full maturity beets. I know you can do lettuce, you can do radishes in this tray because the pod is this big. There's enough growing space. You can grow down the inside, and all you need is a good light fixture with enough lumens. I have to show you how that is set up over here. Those of you who are my OGs, you already know, but for my new people, they don't know, so I'm going to go through it for them and with them. So what I'm doing is, once the pellet expands to this size, it's this size at first, and then it expands to this size when you take some hot water, tap water, and pour it over it. And I had to squeeze it out because I put too much water in there, so I kind of took the shape away. And you want to take the top netting and open it up a little bit. No, don't tear it down the side. Be careful because it will tear. And then I take toothpicks and I just fluff. Just a little fluffing so that the seed, when it starts growing, will have no problem. Roots won't have any problem going through. Just do a little fluffing here. And then I kind of shake this back into like an oval shape like it should be. This is going to be like your ground, or like your grow bag or your container that you would grow something in, except for it's in this very little tiny, well, not tiny, but this little pellet right here. This is a good way to practice sowing your seeds. So I open up a couple of more that I saved like this, just kind of stretching it a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. Just the top. You're not trying to tear the side. And then I'm going to reshape this because this is your soil in here that you're going to need. Everything that you need to grow, to get started, is inside of this little pellet, now soil. And I just fluffed it up. So here's another one. I'm going to take it and gently put it apart. Put it in all directions first. Don't just do one direction. Different directions. These are kind of drying out a little bit just because I did probably squeeze them out too much. It's okay, because when I finish, I'm going to put this on a heat mat and put the dome on top of it. And once I put the dome on top of it, it will the condensation will form, and you won't have to worry about watering it. If you don't have to have a heat mat, but the heat mat does help with the germination of the seed. If you do have a heat mat, but you don't have to have one. I've done it without the heat mat. Trust me. I don't want you to think gardening is about that. Ooh, here we go. Me and my camera, it always falls. I don't want you to think that gardening is about going broke, because you don't have to go broke. So, I'm sorry about that, you guys. Let me get you back down and I have my little thing that, it's a little gizmo type thing. But anyway, it just needs something bigger to be on. So hold on for a second. Let me get something else so that we don't have this problem again. I'll be right back. I probably hit the table, knocked it over, knowing me, clumsy. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. I'm gonna bring you back down. And if you saw my earlier video, I did a little quick tour of my yard, my garden. And you remember my saying something to the effect of how my honey went out and he just broadcasted the seeds. And this is similar, kind of similar to it. And he didn't put any soil over it. He just broadcasted the seeds. So this is kind of the same thing. We're not going to worry about putting too much soil on here because the seed is so small. And I'll show you that. But the seed is just very tiny. So you don't have to worry about that. Let me make sure everything is in view. I want to make sure you guys are seeing everything. Move some stuff down. Let me show you this before I get started. About a month ago on my one of my videos, I did a video about how to revive turmeric or something to that effect. About a month ago. Go look it up. And I put it inside this little bag right here and set it in my cupboard. Well, one piece did make it. And this is what it did. All I have to do is put this in some soil. See, this was just inside of a Ziploc bag. That was it. No soil. So it's ready to go into some soil now. And it will multiply and make more turmeric. And that's for another video. I'll show you how to do that. But yes, and so the other ones got soft. They got very soft. Because they were already soft anyway. Sometimes they'll come back. But they got soft. So I'm going to throw them away. I'll just put them in the compost. So they got very, very soft. But they smell very earthy. But it's been 4 weeks. And this one, which is what I thought it would do because it was still good. It started rooting inside this bag. So I have videos on how to grow turmeric and ginger, how to get it started in the Ziploc bag. You go back and look at my videos about maybe 10 months ago, and you'll see how I did that. And I'll just revisit with that with you again. So what we're going to do is do this last one right here. We're going to open it up. Open the bag up. That's all I'm doing is opening up the bag. And fluffing it just a little bit. And giving it its shape back because I did mess the shape up. And that's it. All of this is kale. It's going to be kale, so I don't have to worry about any order. So I'm going to start over here with I'm going to move this one over because I do love the dazzling blue. So this is dazzling blue kale by Burpees. It has 500 seeds in it. Now, the older your seeds get, the more you need to use them. The expiration date is on the bottom. And it tells you all about the kale right here. And that's what in the seed package. And this one doesn't tell you much about, oh yes it does. No, it doesn't. Germination and harvest, it doesn't do that. But we're going to use some of these. And I'm going to be pretty generous. Now look how small those seeds are. That's why I say you don't need to worry much about, covering and stuff because, ooh, they're falling all over the place. And I can't have that. I'm just basically dropping them in here on top. Just dropping them on top. I'm not worried about anything because I can always, and I've dropped them all inside of here, unfortunately. And they're going to grow. They'll grow in here too. They will be popping up in here. Anyway, so that's how small they are. You have to be careful. But This time I won't do them like that. I just kind of pick some in my hand, which is what I should have done the first time. And I'm just sprinkling several on top. And that's all you have to do. And I'm just going to press it in just a little bit. Just press, not much, not much. Pressing them down just a little bit. And a little soil is making sure they get the soil contact. You do want them to get the soil contact. So that takes care of that. So I do want to try this Dazzling Blue from Baker's Creek. I like the way it's supposed to be the same kale, but it may be still different. So I'm going to move this back here because I know it'll be all the same. Put some seeds in my hand this time so I don't waste them. You know, we don't want to waste precious seeds. And just put several in here. And I can always, like I said, pull them apart because I'm going to use all of them. And I'm just using my finger, making sure that it gets soil contact. See how I'm just moving some of the dirt around it a little bit and making sure it gets soil contact. So we're done with that. And the good thing about these videos, you can always come back and see what you did and how you did it. That's why I love the videos. The next one's going to be the lacinato. Now this is a good one because it's frost tolerant. All of this is frost tolerant, but this one is really frost tolerant. It's an heirloom, and you want heirloom seeds if you could possibly get them. And it's a frost tolerant one, and it says 21 to 62 days. So it gives you more information, and on the back it tells you how deep to plant it. It says 1/4 seed depth, 1/4 of an inch. So here's my baby finger. This is an inch. This is half an inch, half of that, and then half of that would be 1/4. It's all the soil you need. And it tells you how much to spread it out and all this, that, and the other. Maturity date is 21 to 62 days. That's not bad. So we're going to do the dinosaur kale. Now, I had this out there, but I got tired of looking at it. Then I decided, oops, I should have kept it. So we're going to go right here and put that in right here. And some more here. I'm just basically just twirling my fingers and letting it come out. And I'm not worried about the fact that it may be grown together. I'm not worried about that. And then you just kind of cover it up just lightly. Soil contact with the seed. That's all you want. Is soil contact with the seeds. And if you feel some soil that's lumpy, just kind of twirl it between your fingers and loosen it up. So we're through with that one. So now we're going to go with, let me see where I am. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So we've done the red, the dazzling blue, and we've done the lacinato dinosaur. So now we are here with the dwarf blue curled. I have 2 different kinds. One is by Fairy Morse, and one is by Burpee. So I'm going to try the Burpee first. We're going to go right here. Put some in my hand. And I don't want you to make a big deal out of this thing. Don't make a big deal about it, okay? Just feel confident in knowing that you know what you're doing and just do it. I think some people are going to make it seem, oh, you got to do this, you got to look. Drop the seed in, pat it down, and move on. We're going to just pat it down, and we're going to move on. And since these are both the same, I can put them in the same hole. I'm going to even add some of these in the same hole with that one. It's okay. It's okay. Because they're all going in the same container. In the same 30-gallon container. There's plenty of room for all of them. Okay. I kind of fell through. So we're going to do this like that. And I'm just going to push it down. Push it down. Soil contact. Your seeds need to have some kind of soil contact at some point if you're doing it this way. If you're broadcasting it, it's okay as long as you come behind it and put some water on it. So we're done with that one. And the next one is going to be the winter red kale. And yeah, the winter red kale. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we're right here. And this one is by Burpee. And expiration date is 11/22. So it's still good. So you need to, like I say, try to make sure you use your seeds and then save the seeds from the plants that you have grown from the seed. That's how you keep it going. So I'm just sprinkling these on top. Sprinkling them on top, and then I'm just going to push in. Actually, I want to put some more in there because some of them may not germinate. So you want to make sure that you have extra. So go there. And like I said, when they grow up, you can always divide. Pull them apart. When they're in these little pellets, they come apart real easily. So I'm just pushing it around, giving it some soil contact. Okay, so we're down to the last ones. Yeah, I don't know where these. I'm just going to put that in there. No big thing. We're not going to worry about that. This is the walking stick kale. And it is from Baker Creek. And it's an heirloom. It's supposed to be real tall. It has its information on the back. And I think this one is a perennial. I think it's a perennial. It keeps growing. Your kale actually keeps growing anyway. So we'll see. I'm just going to put 3 or 4 in here. Same here. And I am not going to use this third one because the next one coming up is one of my very, very special ones that I love. It is called the Red Russian Kale. I love the Red Russian Kale. So I am going to reserve more space for the Red Russian Kale. I have 2. This one's an heirloom from Burpee's, and this is Fairy Morse. So we're going to treat them the same way as we did the other ones. And put them in my hand so I don't spill them all over the place like I did earlier. I'm dropping about 3 or 4 in here. The same here. Here. And here. I'm going to mix the 2 together. And give them the same amount, approximately. It's okay. You can do this, okay? Okay, so I just dropped them on top. You can use a toothpick to press them down, you know, so it can have a soil contact. And these seeds are dark, so it's kind of hard to see the dark seeds with the dark soil. And we're through. So what you do is I'm going to do something you don't have to do, which is do a little spritzing. This is not necessary because it's going to go on the heat mat. So what I'm going to do is just spritz the top. There's a little spritzing. When your pellets turn white, that means they do need more water. It should not be white. So these have dried out, but I know they're going to be okay because the soil is very wet. But you do want them to be brown. See, if I was to spray this like this, see how that turned brown? That's what you want it to look like. Once I put it on the heat mat and the condensation forms, I know that it'll be okay. We're going to follow along. I'll bring you along so you can see how long this takes. Now listen, you pick these little kits up. Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart. You can get them online. I'm sure they're cheaper in the store. And you can just start indoors. This is indoor sowing. So you can start sowing indoors. And then you can take them outside once you see the first sign of green. You don't wait for all of it to pop up. The first seedling that pops up, you're going to take the top off of the you're going to take the top off. So let me show you what that's going to look like. Put everything back in here. You don't want no mishaps. Okay. When you buy these, make sure you're conscious of the top, because a lot of them I found out are bent. So it's not going to seal. It is not going to be a perfect seal. It's just made to sit on top. Like that. It's not going to fit inside of anything. It just sits on top like that. And once you sit on top, the condensation will build up. I can see it building up already right here. And that will keep your pods moist. Keep the moisture in. If you, right about this time of year, they do have things on sale. Heat mats are on sale. So look out for sales. Go to the garden department at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot. A lot of things are on sale. And see if they have the heat mats marked down. Also, they should be marked down online. It would be nice if you could have a heat mat. But like I said, if you don't have one, don't worry about it. Don't go broke. Learn with gardening. There are so many different ways to garden. A lot of people going to have their way. But there's more than one way to garden. Okay? So don't get hung up on one system. You do what works best for you. Okay? So it's not just my way. It's not just somebody else's way. There's more than one way to garden. And it depends on where you live as to how you garden. So I just wanted to say that. I'm just saying. Some people, you know, they want you to think that it's just one way. And that's their way. Now, this is my heat mat right here. I'm going to sit this on here. I'll take some of this dirt off. And sit it over here on the side, out of the way. And if you can see that condensation already forming, I'm going to pick this up, turn it, and sit it over here. And it's ready. It fits perfect on the heat mat. When you, like I said, when you see the first green, anything that pops up on this, you take this top off. You don't need it anymore. You will not need that top anymore. Do not leave that top on. Okay? All right, we talked about the turmeric. I showed you the results of that. We talked about how to get your seed started on the inside. This is just one phase. We will go through another phase of how to start seeds on the indoors. I've done videos on this, but I refresh and do videos for people who don't want to go through my playlist and look it up. I have no problem with going over it. You guys, I want to thank you for coming along. Thanking you for being a part of my gardening gardening family. I appreciate you. And you guys go ahead and go sleep now, and I'll see you in the garden.